Acheche, the Femepo, majority chief with from Volta region. And they are all sitting down, watching the government to take away a Voltarian's name, which has been given to our airport, and successive government never made any attempt to change it. And in this time and age, they are from Volta, and they are in the government, and they are watching Volta to lose its pride. It's up to them.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Hello guys, you are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, your #1 political show in Ghana and beyond. Today we bring you another hot gist regarding what happened in Parliament yesterday about the change of name, or the bill presented to gazette the change of name in Parliament, which Kwesi Pratt, as a seasoned journalist, has also come out to react to what happened and also show his remorse of how he is ashamed of the behavior of the MPs in Parliament, especially how Afenyo finally reduced the debate to ethnic or tribal debates, which he terms as a nonsensical tribal bigots, he said, which I would like you to join me listening to it into detail here on PENDREAM TV. If you're a new member, you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Subscribe, share the link, and also make a comment regarding what the video is about. Thank you.
Matter is back to the front burner again. Accra International Airport, and you can see the 3D drawings of it. This is how Kotoka will now look if the bill is passed and the renaming happens. Accra International Airport. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I'm very, very deeply worried.
Why?
About the fact that national discourse is being reduced to theater. There's too much theater in everything. So we are not, allowed by the circumstances to discuss national issues based on empirical evidence, based on logical deductions, and so on. There's too much theater. And that is reflected in the current debate about whether or not to change the name or not to change the name. As a matter of fact, reasons given for changing the name and reasons given for retaining the name lack any they lack any substance. Let me be mild. Let me be
diplomatic.
Very, very mild.
Okay.
They lack any substance. Childish in the extreme. You understand? You have a majority leader announcing that the name of the airport is going to be changed. And the primary reason for changing the name of the airport is that it's located in Accra, and the land which was used for the construction of the airport was given by the people of Accra. By logical extension,
thank you.
Everything in Accra should be named Accra.
Absolutely, Kwesi. You just made my day.
By logical extension.
You just made my day.
I mean, unbelievable.
You just made my day, Kwesi.
Moro, is that how our leaders think? It's so very shocking. So by logical extension, if God chiefs give land for the construction of any and everything, it should be named Accra. And the naming of the airport as Kotoka International Airport is seen as a crime against gas. How? That's problematic. Then we move on to the minority leader. Oh my goodness. And he's even worse than the majority leader. His reason for opposing the change of name is that the name belongs to an Ewe, or somebody from the Volta region. And that if you change it, you must necessarily annoy the people of the Volta region. He reduces it to ethnicity, to some base, bigoted, nonsensical tribalism. This is the debate. Are you not shocked? This is the level of debate. Now, if this debate was probably taking place in some God-forsaken ghetto of drug addicts and so on, no problem. That's the level you would expect. But this debate is taking place in Parliament. The foremost law-making institution in our country. This is the level of the debate. Can you believe it? I'm so shocked. Look, the agitation for the change of name of the Kotoka International Airport has a long history. It started in the 1960s. And initially it was led by people like, Johnny Hansen, F.S. Hansen, Dr. Lutrot, and others. Over the years, there was a point at which the National Union of Ghana students called for the change of name. The Convention People's Party has always insisted that the name should change. The Afro-Asian People's Solidarity Organization has called for this name to be changed, and so on. Indeed, there was one time when I listened to an international stand-up comedian make the point that Ghana is a very strange place, You fly to the airport, you arrive at the airport, and you are greeted with the name of Kotoka, who Baturi and Nkrumah government. And who stood for principles which were completely opposed to Augustino Neto's principles and so on. And then you drive through Augustino Neto Street and so on. I mean, he did such an excellent job, showed the contradictions, and so on. Now, I have always believed that the name of the airport needs to be changed for good reason. One, the 1966 coup was planned, instigated, and carried out by the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America. No doubt at all about it. Indeed, the declassified documents of the CIA show that very clearly. In fact, evidence provided by John Stockwell, who was one of the leading agents of the CIA, confirmed that. A book authored by Richard D. Mahoney, who was the son of the U.S. ambassador in Ghana at the time, confirms that, with documents and so on, confirms that. So there's no doubt at all that this coup was instigated, planned, and executed by the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America, using local agents, some of whose names have never been made public. You understand? Based on what I know, and I've done a lot of work on this matter, as a matter of fact, I interviewed A.K. Deku a few weeks before he died, and it's on tape. You can find it on YouTube and so on, his own confessions. The principal actor in organizing that coup was a Major Kwesi. How many people know this Major Kwesi? It wasn't Kotoka. It wasn't Afrifa. The principal actor was a Major Kwesi, who was resident at the 37 Military Hospital. Indeed, it was in his house that all these plans took place and so on. And in my interview with A.K. Deku, I asked him what he thought of Nkrumah. And A.K. Deku said in that interview that in his view, Nkrumah was the best president that Africa has ever had. This A.K. Deku was part of the conspiracy to overthrow the Nkrumah government. And you can refer to that. Then I asked him, so why then did you join a conspiracy to overthrow him? He said his life was at stake. And that if he had chickened out, he would have been murdered.
By who?
By the conspirators. He didn't have room to opt out. The tape is there, his own voice and so on. So it is clear that the 1966 coup was a foreign-inspired conspiracy against the interests of Ghana and Africa. There is no doubt at all about it. You need to read John Stockwell, you need to read Philip Agee, and so on. It's clear. Clear as daylight. Now, again, it is not in doubt that after the 1966, February 1966 coup, our development efforts suffered severely. And Ghana began to experience a downward, spiral in terms of our development and so on. There's no doubt at all. So do you honor this coup d'etat? Do you honor this conspiracy against the Ghanaian national interest? That's the point. That's the point, nothing more. Now, you have political parties which today claim that coup d'etats are an aberration, we should not encourage coup d'etats, and that under no circumstance should we tolerate coup d'etats. In fact, they argue that the worst multi-party democratic dispensation is better than a coup regime. That's the argument they put forward. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them. Because I know that some governments which emerge from this multi-party democratic dispensation can be worse than military regimes. And I can give examples, okay? But that's not the point.
That's another conversation.
That's another conversation.
Yeah.
But if they insist that coup d'etats, by their very nature, are bad, are condemnable, should not be encouraged, and so on, how do you name the international airport, Ghana's biggest, most advanced airport, after a coup maker? How do you do that? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the point. How do you do that? Today, all of us, even including the right-wing elements in parliament and outside parliament and so on, at least pay lip service to Pan-Africanism. How do you honor somebody who staged a coup against the foremost advocate of Pan-Africanism in the world, and then proceeded to actually dismantle guerrilla camps which had been set up here to liberate African countries under the yoke of colonialism, capture their leaders, and send them back to the colonialists to be killed? How do you honor him? How do you honor him? How do you honor Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka? And then this, and please, Moro, please, forgive my language. I've been struggling to find appropriate language. I cannot. Because the ethnic argument is so childish and backward, it's unbelievable. Why? That because he's Ever and he comes from the Volta region, if you change the name, the people of Ever as well will be angry. Where is this argument coming from? I know as a fact that after the 1966 coup, just bearing the name Fiawo was a problem. We wouldn't survive. Because one of the staunchest supporters of the Nkrumah government in the Kita area and so on was Fiawo. You understand? He was Fiawo. His children, I went to school with some of his children and so on. Just bearing the name Fiawo spelled calamity. The numbers of people who were thrown into detention without trial and charge included others. I can mention a whole list of names. Excuse me.
Sorry about that.
Now, even the attack on Flagstaff House, you know that the coup was resisted by the Presidential Guard over a long period of time.
Yeah.
The attack on Flagstaff House, Kotoka and his people killed others. Others who were in the Presidential Guard were not spared because they were others. They were killed. You understand? The coup d'etat, the ministers who were arrested and dumped into prison without charge and without trial included others. They included Reverend Boka, who was an Ever. You understand? They included Reverend Booker, who was an Ewe. So how does this become an Ewe versus who? How does this issue become Ewe versus others? It doesn't make sense. It's pedestrian. It's unbelievable. And this is the leadership of the minority in parliament. Everything must be reduced to one tribe against the other. Can you believe it? I am completely disgusted by the level of debate. I am ashamed by the level of debate. Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, in 2026, we are going to take an important national decision. Whether you are for it or against it, come with sensible arguments and stop playing this tribal card. Because both of them are playing tribal cards. So if you're against the renaming, then you're against the gas. If you're for the renaming, then you're against the others. What level of
let me interrupt because I don't like. My gut feeling tells me that Uncle Kwesi Pratt is about to explode. Please come in before it's too late. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Uncle Kwesi is upset.
You've waked up the lion.
Yes. I'm sorry for waking that side of him up. He just had to say it as he has to be said.
Bro,
anyway.
You know something? Yesterday, you know, at the beginning of each parliament, leadership normally will hold a press conference.
Yeah.
And the majority leader, who is the leader of government business, will normally whet the appetite of the media and the House as to government priority areas for this particular sitting. So the majority leader laid out some few priority areas. And one of the priority areas of government is to rename the airports. I'm choosing my words very carefully. Moro, are you listening?
I'm listening very carefully, very attentively.
One of the priority areas for the government is renaming of the airports. Priority areas. Now, Moro, I don't know whether you've been to the airports recently.
Is it the government that said that? Or you think it's one of their priorities?
That is the majority leaders informing us
That was their priority?
that the issues that will be discussed in this particular sitting include the renaming of the airports. A bill will be presented.
Okay.
So this is like a cabinet decision. I'm not sure the majority leader will just come and say what he said without having some proud knowledge from government. He says the transport minister, as part of government priority areas this sitting, is to bring a bill for us to discuss the renaming of the airport. No problem. Have you been to the airport lately? You know that now if you park your car at the airport and you used to pay 100 cedis for a day, now you pay about 300 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Airfare from Accra to Kumasi. On certain days, some can go high as 2,900.
Kumasi?
Yes. For a 20 minutes flight, 25 minutes flight. The priority of the government is not about this astronomical charges that we experience, but the renaming of the airport. Now, when I listen to the majority leader's reasoning, and that's when Kwesi was speaking, I said, Kwesi, I am in full support of the arguments you espoused. When he said they are going to rename the airport to Accra International Airport because the airport is situated in Accra. And the land was given to the government by the gas. I said, hey, Asababa. That is what necessitated the minority leader's response. That, hey, you are trying to please the gas. What happens to the airways? That was the response. It was at the same press conference. What happens to the airways? Then they start going on that tangent. We are yet to see the bill and the memorandum attached to the bill for us to know the reasoning.
At least officially.
At least officially. The reasoning. The bill that will be laid in Parliament. If the memorandum comes, and one of the reasons why they want to rename the place is because it is situated in Accra, then we are in trouble. Then government should get ready for a barrage of memorandums. Because a lot more people are going to send in petitions. Just yesterday, I heard the Venerable Ayuku Otu saying that, oh, Accra is too vague. And that the Gadangbe people will need one of their foremost people's name to be there. You see where the absurdities going to? You see? This is Ayuku Otu. He's saying that no, Accra is too vague. It's just too big. It should have a name, a prominent gas name there. And Chebia, you hear the Kumasi people who have given lands to government to build other infrastructure, also coming back to request for a change of name. If this is the only reason why the name is being changed, then we are in trouble. Then the Cape Coast people, the Central Region people will come. Because all those lands are vested in those people. So the land that they gave to government to build the University of Cape Coast, then indeed, there must be a change. And that name must reflect some indigenes of the Central Region. Then we move to Takrade.
Not of the Central, of Cape Coast.
Of Cape Coast.
I mean, foolishness.
Then we move to Takrade. Takrade people will bring a petition that the Takrade Technical University must be renamed. Everybody will come with their own reasoning. That is my worry. And to think that this is a priority is even worse for me at this particular point in time. Why should this be a priority of government? For the minority leader to be telling us that in this particular sitting, we should be ready to debate a bill to change the name of Kotoka International Airport to Accra Airport only because it is situated in Accra. We are going to have this debate in Parliament. And this is the priority of the majority leader for this particular sitting. Hey, Moro, we should be careful in this country.
But you know.
And now see the tribal twist. Very dangerous precedent that you are trying to set. See the tribal twist. So this is an Ewe. Why are you taking the Ewe's name? Okay, no, this is a guy. Like it's unnecessary, Moro. Totally unnecessary. Unnecessary. Uncle Kwesi made an interesting point. And just this when I was coming, you know, people are beginning to think that the reason why they want to take the name out is because Kotoka is a coup maker. How many coup makers do we have in this country? How many places haven't been named after coup makers? Do we go back to change all those names? If the only reason why the name is being changed is because it's a coup maker. Is that all?
I see Collins, as a matter of principle, I wouldn't have a problem if the government says as a matter of policy, we're changing names or we're changing whatever organizations or edifices and things that are named after coup makers. I don't have a problem.
See, Moro,
do you know why?
Yeah,
because as Uncle Pratt said, the last thing we want to do as a people is to glorifying coup makers.
So Moro, let me tell you something.
What is not sustainable? What is not sustainable was the earlier argument.
Yes, the point I'm making is, Moro, listen. Whether you change the name or not, when I'm going to Kumasi, I don't mind.
Well,
I'll just take my play and go.
Yes.
But when you're doing these things, you need a huge level of consultation and consensus building.
You think
it's key.
But you think that wasn't done?
I'm a member of Parliament.
Okay.
I only heard of this reason just yesterday. The minority leader's rebuttal is clear to you that he was not privy to this discussion. I'm saying that open it up for discussion. Look at the arguments Uncle Kwesi made. Call a few groups. Look at what Ayuku is saying. As that tells you that the Ghana leadership was informed about this. It is just an announcement. I am saying that build consensus. If you all agree that, hey, this name It's an affront to what we stand for. You build consensus. You will see that it will be easy for you to pass through.
You're right.
But if you because you have the numbers in the house, you just announce to us that you want to change. Yes, of course, you have the numbers. You can change. People will play politics with it. People will begin to play politics with it. And it's unnecessary.
You see, Moro, we cannot create the impressions that all coups are the same and all coups are guided by the same principles. The 1966 February coup was special. It was special to the extent that now we have evidence. The evidence is there. I mean, there's a book titled The Great Deception, How the CIA Overthrew Nkrumah. That book is available. It's available at the Freedom Bookshop and so on, which is a republication of the declassified documents of the Central Intelligence Agency with comments. These authentic documents of the CIA, okay, which have been published and which point to who organized that coup and how the coup was organized, okay. So in discussing the 1966 coup, we are not discussing just any coup, but a foreign-inspired finance and organized coup d'etat against a popular African government.
Yeah.
You understand? So that distinction needs to be made. Now, I can understand the difficulty that somebody like Mama Ayariga will have in articulating this position. Because if he makes the point that Kotoka participated in organizing a coup and so on, and therefore is not deserving of this honor, the throwback is that Mr. Rollins,
Who's the founder of their party,
who is the founder of their party and their hero,
would be affected
was
hugely.
also a coup maker.
And you'll be affected hugely.
And therefore, are you able then to name any national monument after Mr. Rollins? Can you raise his profile the way they raise it and so on? That is the dilemma.
Thank you.
That he found himself in. And that is why he now resorted to ethnicity.
Yes.
As justification for this proposal. You understand? I firmly believe, and I've said this on many occasions, I've advocated for it, like many others, that the name of this airport needs to be changed. It's an insult to the Pan-Africanist movement. It's an insult to all those who aspire, to build a nation which guards its sovereignty and so on. And for these concrete political and ideological reasons, the name ought to be changed. But I cannot support this pedestrian argument that because it's located in Accra and the land for it was given by the people of Accra, it should be named Accra International Airport. So anything built in Apam should be named Apam. So anything built in Kromansi, it should be named Kromansi. And so, what kind of argument is that?
And some very senior Ghana indigenous have started raising issues about this, insisting that Ghana names should be there. If we go this way, then we have a problem. It becomes a problem. They're very serious issues.
Yeah.
They are very, very serious issues to be discussed.
But Collins, you should also pay some attention to your minority leader and his position is worse than Ayariga's position.
Kwesi, what I said is that
Afenyo Maki's position is worse than Ayariga's position.
I said I'm in full support of the argument you made.
Okay.
And even said that I realized that the minority leader was trying to respond to Ayariga when Ayariga tried to play the gas sympathy. And he also tried to play politics with it and bring in the Ewe angle. And I'm saying that it's unnecessary. And for me, even the biggest worry is the fact that it's a priority of government. So cabinet met. His Excellency sat down and we're discussing this issue. And they told Ayariga to come and tell us that the reason why they are doing this is that the place is in Accra. Is that what cabinet was discussing? Because he, Ayariga, the honorable majority leader, he sits in cabinet. Is that the thinking of cabinet? And a cabinet has sent him to come and tell us that they are changing this because it's in Accra. What kind of argument is this? We are just waiting for the bill to get the official memorandum that normally comes with the bill, which is the usual thinking behind the bill. I'm sure we'll get more insights into that. If this is the only reason why, as I said, then the government should be ready for more petitions. Already, the Gadangi have indicated that they are going to bring a petition.
Well, I think that after...
Because this station, for all you know, by extension of logic, should be called Accra TV.
Accra TV.
It's located
in Accra. The land was given to you guys by the gas.
Logically speaking.
By logical extension.
But I think that after this perspective that you shared, I'm sure that the authors of the memorandum would have a rethink. They definitely should have a rethink.
Yeah,
well, I'm assuming that the memorandum which is going to be attached in the bill may have a different...
Be more sophisticated.
Yes.
Better nuanced.
Yes, better nuanced. You know, than what we've been told by the majority leader. Otherwise, it will be very problematic. It's an argument that cannot be sustained, and I think that you have succinctly and clearly expressed it. I mean, it's difficult to sustain it. You know, I've been sitting here in the last 15 to 20 minutes just listening because it's absurd.
Is Nkrumah not deserving of it? Is Nkrumah not deserving of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology?
Of course he does.
He's more than deserved.
But how can you do that?
In fact,
when the land for the Kwame Nkrumah KNUST was given by the Ashanti people.
But that's the weakness in the argument.
Kumasi University.
Is that not the weakness of the argument?
So let me ask.
That's the point I'm making.
So let me ask.
It's insane to advance this argument.
So we so far in the last 30 minutes or so, monitoring the commentary you're making on this matter, quite clearly you have a problem not with the renaming. As at least from Mr. Kwesi's Pratt's point of view, his problem is with the basis. The basis for renaming. But would it have made a difference if a different name was given to, or a different name instead of Accra International?
I have no difficulty with
Accra International. But why Accra is a problem?
The reason why I have no difficulty with naming it Accra International Airport is that any name you suggest will bring about renewed political controversy and so on.
True.
Accra is a neutral name.
Okay.
Understand? The resistance to Accra will be muted. You understand? As opposed to naming it, say, Buzia International Airport,
or even Nkrumah,
or Kwamla Gbelema International Airport,
yes,
or even Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. So Accra is neutral. Is the perfect name.
So what would you have rather preferred the government says as their reason?
But I've said all of that.
Yes, advanced those.
The reasons. So far,
in the interest of a commitment to the preservation of national sovereignty.
Okay.
And all the other reasons.
Okay.
Pan-African commitments.
That's
and so on.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
It's going to be an interesting debate on the floor. I've seen some members of parliament on their social media handles share views. Others say, so no, we should name it after Nkrumah. Others are clear. At least I've read A+ argument to say that no, it should be Nkrumah. And I just tweeted to you about Ayuko.
Yeah.
They are happy with the change, but he doesn't want that craft. He wants that. He said he's speaking for the Gadange people, saying that they should have somebody, a guy, and that is where the challenge is.
So Greater Accra International Airport.
No, he wants a name. Like one
once you say Greater Accra, then that ropes everybody.
That's where the challenge is.
Individual's name.
That's where the challenge is.
Okay, yeah. So Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo has waded into this whole conversation, and we all know him. He's an elderly statesman. He's seen it all. He was there when all of these things happened.
As a matter of fact, my interview with A.K. Deku was arranged by Dr. Nyawo.
Oh, really?
In fact,
they are friends?
Yes.
Oh.
He knew him.
In
fact, I think he was chairman of the Council of Elders of the NPP or so.
At some point.
So it was Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo who arranged this interview. And in fact, on that day, we drove together. You know, I drove ahead of him or behind him.
Yes.
To go and have this interview in the Volta region.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I owe him a huge debt of gratitude.
Right.
Now, this is a historical record which would have been lost if I hadn't done this interview. Nobody would ever have known that the main brain behind the coup d'etat was not Afrifa,
Was Major
not
Kwesi.
Kotoka, but Major Kwesi. Nobody would have known that. Nobody would have known that the coup d'etat was actually plotted in the 37 military hospital. Nobody would have known that A.K. Deku thinks that Nkrumah was the best leader that Africa has ever produced. So I owe Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo huge gratitude for making this interview possible.
You know, the last time I had a discussion with Doc.
Okay.
And I spoke to him for about an hour and a half. He gave me great insight into even my party's history.
Oh,
yeah. He gave me great insight.
You know, he has a book.
The party's history.
Dr. Nyakusamu has this book. It's a very popular
It was launched recently.
Yes. I should get one of them. Anyway,
please tell him that I need an autographed copy.
Yeah, autographed copy. Yes.
Of that book.
He watches the show every single day. I mean, Doc, what book here? Autograph. Collins would be grateful. But he sends a message and he says, "Good morning, Moro. I have nothing against the naming being changed from Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. However, I believe strongly in this world, history is the best teacher. The fact that Kotoka was killed at that spot cannot be erased, and the fact that Kotoka led the coup against Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is a historical fact that cannot be erased from our history. Let us educate our children and grandchildren about what really happened in this country and stop distorting historical events." Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. Sam O'Brien Boabeng says, "Trump is the new standard of leadership every progressive country needs. He doesn't fake it. He calls things as they are. He doesn't hide his intentions. He's putting his country's interests first. Finish." Now, he says the beneficiaries of two senseless schools.
All these years, we've had this Kotoka, General Kotoka's name on the airport, and suddenly it is being changed. What is it? After it's Kotoka International Airport, Accra. So Accra is still there. I'm not suggesting any other name. I'm saying that the name Kotoka International Airport, Accra is already there. Accra is already there. So you don't need to remove Kotoka's name from there. So if you come to Accra, or even in the country, how many prominent Voltarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region. And that one too, they are being denied. Well, Honorable Kwame Abuja is from Volta. Honorable Ukujeto Blakwa, he's from Volta and he's sitting in cabinet. Honorable Fifi Kwete is the General Secretary of NDC from Volta region. Honorable Ahiafo, he is the first Deputy Speaker in this government from Volta region. Honorable Kwame Eche, the Femepo, Majority Chief with from Volta region. And they are all sitting down watching the government to take away a Voltarian's name, which has been given to our airport, and successive governments never made any attempt to change it. And in this time and age, they are from Volta and they are in the government and they are watching Volta to lose its pride. It's up to them.
Kwesi.
Well, I mean, first of all, I've said it already, but perhaps it's worth repeating. That the new Patriotic Party deserves congratulations for being able to organize this primary without much difficulty. It turned out to be largely, successful, peaceful, and so on. To that extent, it deserves, congratulations. However, there are a few things that need clarification. Again, I've heard the Honorable Member of Parliament say that the party will rally around the leader, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and his vision. That's a bit problematic. Given the fact that they have told us that they have amended their party constitution and that presidential candidates would no longer be leaders of the party. What is the true constitutional position of the party?
Uncle, it's quite clear.
No, the constitution now, the amended one says the chairman of the party.
Yes, the leader of the party.
Is the leader of the party.
But that's the point I'm making.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
when the chairman of the, when the constitution of the party says that the chairman is the leader,
Yes.
and prominent members of the party say that, no, it's the flag bearer, there's a problem.
Right.
It needs to be resolved as quickly as possible.
True.
In order not to create conditions for power struggles at the helm of affairs. And there's a very legitimate issue to raise. Now, I must confess that I haven't had all of the data. And therefore, whatever I say is not the result of an in-depth analysis of what is happening. Because to be able to do that, the amount of data you need to have and to analyze is quite huge. But given what we know, I'm going to do some analysis. Now, we are told that all the other 4 contestants have actually put their weight behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We ought to be asking ourselves, what is the value of that declaration? Given the fact that all 4 contestants, at one point or the other, believe that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not the best leader of this country, or cannot be the best leader of this country. So what is the value of their commitment now? That's an important issue to raise. Okay. Now, one of them, my very good friend Kennedy Ohini Ejapong, actually in his concession speech, told his supporters that they shouldn't worry at all, and that there's 3 more years to go, and nobody can tell what is likely to happen or what could happen. What did that mean? Because I'm struggling to understand it. What did that mean? It can mean many, many things. One of the things which could happen and which you could be imagining to happen is that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will select him as a running mate. And therefore, his ticket and that of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia would not be the same. Would be the same.
That's highly unlikely.
You're talking at the realm of possibilities.
No, I understand you. I understand you.
You understand?
I
That's one of the things that can happen. There are other things that can happen that I don't want to contemplate. I don't even want it to come out of my mouth.
I know that.
Okay?
Yes.
But there's so many other things that can happen which may even lead to his incapacitation and therefore his inability to lead the party. But is this the kind of calculation which is being made in the party? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just analyzing what people have said. I don't know. Now again, if you look at the results of the election, and people want to play it down, Collins has tried to play it down and so on, his votes, as compared to the last primary, dropped. What does that mean? From 61% to 57%, there's a drop within the party.
56, actually.
56 plus.
Yes.
Okay. So what does that mean? Does that mean that a lot more people in the party, or some people in the party, are beginning to doubt his ability to win elections or to become president? Does that mean that? I don't know. But it's a legitimate question to ask. Then once he's won the primaries, it's almost automatic that between now and the elections, he has to select a partner, a running mate. How would that impact on his chances? There are many people who actually believe that his choice of a running mate for the last election was not the best. And they've said it. They keep saying it all the time. Is he going to make that mistake again? We don't know. This is an imponderable. We don't know. But it's a legitimate question to raise, Now, how is he going to contain those who contested him? They have said that he's willing to work with them. He has no grudges against them and so on. That's all very well said and beautiful. But is it possible that one of them will be his running mate? Is that possible? I don't know. Nobody knows. It's an imponderable. Okay? Then there are other questions that need to be answered. Other major questions that need to be answered. For me, all of these primaries, elections, and so on, should not be reduced to fanfare. They should be reducible to concrete programs for resolving the problems that confront the Ghanaian people and the realization of the aspirations of the Ghanaian people. I'm not hearing a lot of that. I'm not hearing a lot of that. In fact, some people say they are not hearing that at all. But election 2028 ought to be about what measures we can take to ensure that our natural endowments belong to the people of Ghana and are exploited for the benefit of the people of Ghana. We want to hear that. I'm not hearing anything like that. You understand? Now, election 2028 ought to be about expanding access to education and improving the quality of education. Election 2028 ought to be about how to resolve the housing problem and so on. So those are the substantive issues. Those are the issues which would ultimately decide who wins the elections. Okay? And I'm not hearing a lot of that. Maybe that will come later, but that ought to be, our focus, and indeed the focus of everybody else. Now, before this primary was organized, there was a lot of debate within the New Patriotic Party itself about top-down approach and down-up approach and so on. Okay? Now that this election has been done, what is it that the party can do in order to ensure that the party structures are owned by party members and that you don't lead to a situation where the party becomes the fan club of any individual, no matter how loved he is, that the party does not become anybody's fan club. Because these were the issues which were raised right from the beginning. How do you ensure that? Okay. Now, there appears to have been some unity or some expressions of a desire for unity after the elections and so on. But you see, based on the NPP constitution, very soon we are going to have polling station elections.
Yes.
Leading to constituency elections.
But they will do electoral ward coordinator or something like that before the polling stations. Yes.
Leading to regional elections and national elections. So there are going to be different contestants. Which means that there are going to be different pitches. How may this affect or not affect the unity which is being proclaimed today? It's an important question to ask. How may or may it not affect the unity which everybody is touting today? And indeed, how is the newly elected presidential candidate going to position himself in this context? Is he going to have preferred candidates? Is he going to be neutral? If he's going to have preferred candidates, what will be the consequences for him and the party? And if he's going to remain neutral, is he ready to work with any and everybody who is elected through the democratic process? These are important questions, Now, I've heard Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia himself say that the most critical issue going into the 2028 election is party unity. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all.
Really?
Yes. 2024 produced the third most disastrous election result for the New Patriotic Party, if it claims to be from the Dankwa-Busia tradition. The third most disastrous election result. I'm counting 1951 and so on. Okay. I want to believe that people voted largely because of the prevailing economic and social conditions. A lot of people voted because of the e-levy and so on. You know them.
DDP and all of that, yeah.
DDP, the energy sector and so on. So many things. Okay. So if the last election was issue-based and the issues centered around the economic and social conditions of the Ghanaian people, I would expect that to some extent or to a very large extent, 2028 will be based on those same parameters. And if they are, then the NDC must leave office with worse conditions than the NPP left office with, in order to give the NPP a chance. So, for example, and if you take this as indicators, there are many indicators, but these are just a few indicators. The value of the cedi, where would it be in 2028? The energy sector, what will be its state in 2028, and so on. And I'm in sympathy with those who think that the NDC must do worse than the NPP did for the NPP to win the elections. Now, Moro, you asked a very important question, which is simply this, that do opposition parties win elections or do government parties lose elections? I think the two happen. All the two circumstances can be real. I've been on the campaign trail, and I've been to places where people have said that, look, given the prevailing circumstances, even if you put a goat here, this candidate cannot win. That's an expression of the situation where people are not actually voting for a political party, but they are rejecting a political party or a certain individual. It does happen. Okay. Now, it is also true that in some elections, people have voted, sometimes not even minding the issues, but focusing attention on their like or dislike of the candidate. And I've seen that in many. I mean, in 1992, we went out campaigning. And I encountered, please don't get me wrong, because it's likely to sound sexist. I'm only reporting what actually happened on the ground. I'm not sexist at all. But you went to places, and mainly women will tell you that Jerry Rawlings is so handsome, that they will vote for him. You understand? It plays in Ghana's politics. So the like and dislike of the candidate, either based on his personality, the way he talks, the way he carries himself and so on, is also part of the electoral process.
Right.
And you've got to recognize that. Okay? Somehow, whether you take it or not, it's a fact that the current president has some charisma. Very serious charisma. The way he affects people when he meets them. I mean, there's something magnetic between him and people when he meets them. And you all know it if you will speak the truth. I mean, there's some aura around Mahama, a certain charismatic thing around Mahama, you know, which makes him so popular. The problem for the NDC is that no matter what happens, I'm convinced that Mahama will not be on the ticket. You know, no matter what happens, it will be strange if in 2028, President John Dramani Mahama is on the ticket. I think he will not be on the ticket. And if he's on the ticket, he'll be ill-advised to be on the ticket.
Right.
And so that's my very clear position. So who is it that the NDC is going to put forward who would have the residual charisma? And I'm very careful with my choice of words. The residual charisma of Mahama. We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell at this stage. Huh?
Okay, so your time is almost up.
Oh, so I should stop. I have stopped.
I'm enjoying the thing too much. I know that if I lose guard,
you should have allowed them. I was also enjoying the comment.
No, I like where he ended, which is what is the NDC going to put up in 2028? We'll do this discussion next week. We'll continue.
Oh no, I have some few things I have to do.
Okay. Can you listen just 3 minutes?
So let's meet here next week. I cannot be stopped on account of the fact that time is up.
Oh, I just want to allay your fears. I just want to allay your fears.
This is just part one.
I just want to allay his fears.
You can't stop me on account of the fact that time is up. And then find 3 minutes. How then was time up?
So you can say small. Just 2 minutes to wrap up.
I mean, there's no doubt that His Excellency has some charisma. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you see him, he interacts with people very nicely.
Right.
But as Kwesi said, he's not going to be on the ballot.
Yeah.
In 2028, he's done. He's done. And Kwesi is a very interesting word. Residual charisma. Kwesi, the next person coming, he will not inherit any residual charisma.
Do you know him?
I know.
Do you know her?
He will not.
You don't know.
I can tell you for a fact.
You don't know.
Mr. Mahama will move with his charisma. He's gone. He will not leave any residual charisma for anybody. The person coming from the NDC must prepare to have his own charisma. And I know it's going to be him. And I know the person.
Really?
Oh, yes. When did you become a prophet? I think you've joined the college of prophets.
Just as you insinuated about the possibilities of what is going to happen in the next 3 years, so am I also insinuating what is going to happen in the next 3 years in the NDC.
You appear to have joined the college of prophets.
But what I can say emphatically is that none of them is going to inherit any charisma from John Mahama, His Excellency. He is going to go with his charisma. All the people who are potential candidates from the NDC, we know them. We know their charisma already.
Who are they?
Oh, we know them. Oh, but the people who want to contest, we know. S.A.B. Ketia, Haruna Idrusu, the vice president. We know all the names that is floating around.
Who gave you the names?
Oh, I we know. S.A.B. Ketia said thank you tour. He's on a thank you tour. We know.
So if you go on a thank you tour, it means
the president has already had a thank you tour, but the chairman of the party is doing another thank you tour. We are not kids. We understand the game.
And he told you that he's embarking on the thank you tour.
I know. He have people, have members of parliament, friends, NDC members of parliament who tell me that they are supporting S.A.B. Ketia. We are colleagues in parliament.
That S.A.B. Ketia told them that.
Haruna's picture has just popped up yesterday. He is coming like Kakai. He should come with his charisma. Nobody is going to take any residual charisma from Mr. Mahama.
S.A.B. Ketia should come with his own charisma.
He should come with his own charisma.
S.A.B. Ketia.
We say there's no residual charisma. Nobody is going to inherit any residual charisma.
You are spoken for. You see how
all the point I want to make is that the NDC should just prepare themselves for a battle. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the current president, with his charisma, he is going to leave the scene. There's going to be a power change, a change of guard. I'm coming, please. Wait. Kwesi, talk about some few things that I want to respectfully.
But you appear to be more interested in the residual charisma.
Because that residual charisma, the intention is to assist the new candidate. It will not happen. There's no residual charisma. That person should come with his own charisma to meet our candidates. Dr. Mamadou Maubia. Yes, no residual charisma. I'm going to talk about 2023 drop.
Yes.
The dynamics of 2023 was different. We all knew that the 2023 election, there were two main contenders. It was between.
Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for being with us. We really appreciate your time here on PENDREAM TV. If you're a new member, you have not yet subscribed, please do so. And to keep you notified, don't forget to subscribe and turn the notification bell on. Till next time, keep watching PENDREAM TV, keep listening, and keep sharing the link to get others involved. Thank you.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.